Hello. I can't has live stream. All right, I think I'm just going to kick this thing off here in a moment. All right. Mic looks good. Soundboard looks good. Background music looks good. No guest audio. All right. Second to check on this thingy-mabob. Let me just pull this over so that I've got that there if I need it. I don't think I will. Okay, so I have talked about my, issues with the programming culture right now. And I've talked about the need for us to have simpler tools in a simpler language. And I actually paid at the beginning of this year quite a pretty penny to get a prototype that did not quite go far enough to what I actually needed. And so what we're going to do, let's see here. Did that, sorry, my sound is a little off. Okay. So, actually, I don't need the headphones because I'm not listening to the music. I'll listen to it through speakers. But, so, what I want to do is I want to start, I want to get that thing back on track. So I have this prototype. It works in VS Code to some degree. It doesn't work in Vim to any degree. And I want to get back on there. But so stage one of having my own programming language is to have a formatter for the programming language, because the programming languages are boring at this point. There's not really much value in a programming language. Programming languages are kind of an excuse to build better tooling, and in some cases like Zig, the current language that exists that fills that role is so bad that there has to be, it can't just be fixed with tooling. It has to be fixed with actual language changes. The language that I want to create a language that runs in the browser. And we have so many languages that run in browsers right now that the tooling is really what makes the language. That's where the AI has to happen. And so this is AJScript we're talking about. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop a top. We'll just get right into it because if I try to explain it, I'll just ramble and yada yada. So let's pop a top, my friends. There we go. Also, I need to make sure I got the right bots up. Give me a second here. So not that bot, but this bot. Okay. And then, oh, something's off. It looks like a couple of things are off here, actually. Let's get that fixed. It appears that our OC remix screen has the wrong window. Application capture. No. Window capture. Brave music. There we go. Excellent. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, cool. So that's fixed now. So my goal is I want to just replicate Prettier in vim-ale, which is, it seems to be the simplest, most straightforward tool for getting code tools to run in Vim. I want to see if I can just replicate Prettier, but I'm gonna create a program called add space, and we don't need it to be in any specific language. Hold on, let me get out of this, or maybe I should get out of this. Okay, let me move this over here. All right, so I'm going to create a program called add space. And what it's going to do, actually, I don't want it to do anything really. First, I just need to see something run at all. So we're going to echo hello world to temp add space dot log. There's our program. So and what I really need this to do actually is we need to have my file equals well, actually, is it going to be my file or is it going to be my buffer? How do we read standard in from a program? sh detect standard in. So what we need to do is we're going to have some file, and the file needs to get read into our program. Maybe I should just call it fixer or something. But we need to check to see, are we going to read from a file name or are we going to read from a standard in buffer? So how do I check this? All right, so let's just take a look at POSIX test. -t. Is -t a thing? File descriptor. Okay, cool. So this is not going to be guaranteed to work. C is open. So we actually need something to tell. Actually, that probably is guaranteed to work. Okay. So let's try this. If test-t0. All right. My standard in equals 0. Okay, why am I not getting... Okay, there we go. I'm getting that. Good. And then what do I want to do? Read from standard in. So maybe I'm not exactly sure how this should work. Okay. The cat standard in. I guess it's just going to be cat. Hold on, pipeline. All right, so let's do this. So first I have to make my program. I don't know if this is going to work, and here's the reason why. The way that cat uses standard in might be wrong. But let's try it. All right, so that's if it's reading from standalone. Otherwise, we have a file name. We're gonna have my file is equal to my file is equal to whatever this is, and then if, let's see, if my file, what are we gonna do? Test-e, then fee. We basically want to do the same thing. Or maybe we could do this. To standard error. All right, so here's our little program. And all it does is log out the file contents. So here we go. So log out the file contents to this file path. Great. All right. Oh, let me get rid of my raccoon eyes there. Hold on. Let's bring this back around. Just 1 second. Just noticed that my eyes were all raccoony. It's not what we want, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. It's not for me right now. Okay. So this is it. We're saying if it's if standard in is open, then my file is standard in. Otherwise, if my file doesn't exist, then print an error to standard error and exit. And then the echo new line. And then whatever the arguments are, and then the file, which I guess should be my file. So then we're gonna tell it to cat whatever the file is, which might be standard in, and then put a new line. And that's gonna go into addspace.log. So if I run this program, bin add space, whoops, let's do chmod a plus x, bin add space. So just to test this out, if I give it a file name, such as, let's say I give it itself, that should run, no problem. Ooh, that did not run. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, that's not what I wanted. But let's see what we got in our temp add space. Okay. Let's reverse this a little bit. Oh, the question is, how do you tell if... Oh... How do you tell if the user, that's what the user actually wanted? I don't know how we tell that. What's up, Standard Air? How's it going? So I'm going to move on from this because I don't, this is not what's important. I I need something that can read from standard in if standard in is supplied, or reads from a file if a file is supplied. But this, is there a way for me to tell? Let me just take another minute to see if there's something else here. Standard in is open, yes. I'm just going to try one more thing. Shell. How to tell if a pipe is open. That's what I want to know, is I want to know if the pipe is open. Oh, this is what I wanted, actually. I think this is what I was just at. Running interactively. If the file descriptor in is open on the terminal, this test is only checks for standard in, only checks for standard out. Great. Okay, so I think what I need for this to work is basically to do the opposite. I need to test if the file doesn't exist. Then oh, this is a tough one. Can I see the script again? If a pipe is open, you mean if standard in or standard out is not a TTY? Maybe. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think that might be what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is, can I test to see if something is piping into this? Let's see. Okay, in a pure POSIX shell, oh, is this it? But I want to know if it's piped in. Isn't that the one I just looked at? I'll open this one here too. But I think that's the one that I just looked at. I think that's the one that I have open right here. No? No, it's not. Okay. Alright, but I need to know... I wanted to know this from the shell perspective. Do they have a shell example here? I'm off the beaten path, but whatever. Oops. Do we have something like this? All right, well, I think I can roll with this, though. Let me try this one more time. So then I want to do something different. All right, good. So this mostly works. I want to get it so that it works without the dash. But I'm gonna leave this as is for now because this should work well enough for me to be able to do what I need to do. Which is that we're going to make our add space program run on things that end in .a.js or that are AJScript detected files. Okay, so let's go back to this, which I should have this locally as well. And so we've got our fixers. Let's go into, yeah, let's go into this here as well. So we got Vim, we're going to go into, and we've got our, let's go into pack plugins, and we're going to start in the ale directory. So we have our fixers, so that would be autoload fixers, no, ale. Let's just see what is all this. Prettier, no. Let's just look for prettier throughout. Let's see. It's an auto load, it's an auto load, it's an auto load. No, wait, yeah, and then test. Test, 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 test. I kind of just want name only. What's that option again? Is that in? No? All right, let's see. Rep, show only file name. All right, we'll do that. All right, so doc. I have to try that one out. Registry. Fix registry. Got prettier, supported tools. So I think it's these two files, registry and prettier. I think prettier ESLint and prettier standard are where it goes through ESLint to invoke prettier. It goes through standard to invoke prettier. All right. All right, suggested file types. So first, let's have my file type run. So I'm going to call mine call it AJScript thumped. And it's just going to run on JavaScript and AJScript, which I don't know how we would add AJScript, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so there's something. So let's go ahead and rename our add space to AJScript bump. And then I'll make another one for the SH standard end pipe test. So I'm going to check that out later. All right, so the registry, what does this registry do? Default registry. Is there a way to add to the registry? Add a function for fixing problems to the registry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And I did ask on the Discord for this. I don't know if anybody's gonna join in. Suggest functions to use from the registry. Okay. I kind of get that. Suggest fixers to use from the registry. But I don't know what this means. Complete fixers. No. Get applicable fixers. Format entry. don't know what that means. Is generic fixer. So should suggest type. Get function. Okay, so I think that this is what I need to be concerned with. So I think I would do something like this. AJScript. Well, let me back up a little bit. So I think we would do AJScript thumped. And then the function, I don't know. I guess we declare that. Let me take a look at what this looks like. So AJScript thumped. Let's just take a look here. Is this what I would name it? Oh, whoops, that should be fixers prettier. So one of the problems is I don't know. I don't know which names are for. Okay, here we go. Elm format. Excellent. So this helps me to know AJScript bumped. That's what this actually should be. So the question then is, do I pass this in? Can I see any examples of fix registry add? How's it going, everybody? What's up? So I'm working on my own programming language, but the first thing that I want to do is to have a formatter. There's no sense in working on a programming language, and in my mind, in this day and age, unless you are focused on AI-assisted tooling. And by that, I don't mean GPT. I mean, hopefully real AI, which I don't think anybody's actually focused on right now, except maybe some people in the Rust community. I think if there's any focus on AI, it's in the Rust community. That's where if you make a mistake in the code, the compiler actually can suggest fixes for you. Because the compiler knows what the code should be. ChatGPT doesn't know what the syntax is, whether it's valid or not. It's just looking at, statistical correlations. But this is what I'm talking about. By AI, I mean the tools know the language, and they assist you in writing your code. And I believe that we need a language with this design in mind. Anyway, I don't see anywhere that this is used, and I'm not sure. I kind of wish the approach that they took was to use the add function. Let's see. Vim-ale. What is XO? That one I haven't heard of. Oh, how to add a new ale fixer. Okay, here we go. That looks rough. I don't think I see any mention of registry here. Oh, this is linters, though, not fixers. So let's see if we can find a fixer. Let's see if we can find when prettier was added. prettier is probably a little too much. Let's take a look at what does this ultimately look like. So this was closed. So this was not merged. Was prettier. I guess prettier was one of the originals. So maybe we need to look for something else. Adding a fixer implementation for Go, please. PLS. Go. Seems like Go, please. Okay. So this is what we need to look at. I think. Fix. It's going to take a buffer. Okay. Get the executable. How to add a fixer. And I actually think that this is a bad place for these notes to be. So I'm going to... Oh, no. No, they're at the top level. That's fine. I do like the idea of figuring out how to add it externally rather than having to do a pull request. But we'll do what we must. So I have a bad feeling about the way that this is designed presently. Let me go fix this. AJScript font. Because I think what this is going to need to echo out is going to be the my file thing. And I think that this is going to need to be on standard error. Because this is going to go back to, goes back to Vim, goes to console standard error. We'll have to see how that works out. Debug input to temp. AJScript font. Okay. Input is interactive. All right, let's see if I can figure this out then. Let me just try that real quick. Well, let's actually move this over to the other file. test input TTY. Oh, maybe this is correct. Hold on, maybe... Okay, that was there. I just misunderstood. Got it. Okay, so let me fix this up real quick. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm kind of switching back and forth here. I just had this thought of maybe I was testing wrong, and in fact I was. So let me go back to this other one. Boop. So here's how we test to see. Dang it. So I'm working on my formatter here. So if it's interactive, okay, so my file is here. So if this is interactive, then I don't think there's anything I need to worry about there. Except we say if not file, then oops. Okay, there we go. What's up? We would like rest, thanks doc. I don't know what that refers to. Oh, test if the file is readable. Yeah, good call. Good call, thank you. Okay, so... Okay, my file or standard in. Cat again, my file. Okay, cool. So... what's the next thing that I should do? Let's take a look at this PR. So this adds fixer for GoPLS. And what I'm curious about, though, and I actually do want to take a look at this, is why is the prettier one so complicated? And it could be because it has so many different options that it supports and so many different file types. But it was not what I was expecting. But let's compare the two. So here's fixers, go please, go PLS. I just want to say go please because it seems like go is what you should want. So you say go please. But that's not at all what it's supposed to stand for. Unless it is. Because what's the P for? protocol language server. I'm just doing it backwards. So we're creating a function. Functions can have pounds in the name, apparently. It's going to take a buffer. I'm guessing abort means if there's an error, abort. We're going to let the... And then this A thing. What the heck does this mean? Where's A come from? Let L executable equals var. So I think what this is saying is assign a buffer to the var. No, this doesn't make sense to me. Why is it AL var? I just don't understand the conventions of VimScript. I have not found resources that seem like I don't want to learn all of VimScript. I just want to understand philosophy, kind of best practice, and particularly related to plugins, because that's what I'm interested in, or configuration. I need to know how variables work and how scope works and things like that. If anybody knows of a resource that goes over that, let me know. If I have to go through the whole book of VimScript the hard way, I don't know if I'll make it. Anyway, I think that these things are pretty much all global. Well, these are. I think that's why they're namespaced like this. So go please fix executable. Go PLS fix options. So there's options. So is it getting this? So is it saying a buffer? I don't know what that means. Executable options. Why is buffer there? Because buffer is here. It makes me think that these two are related, but I don't know if they are. env string. Maybe it's in regards to the buffer. Maybe this is kind of like instead of calling buffer.executable buffer.options, maybe this is doing something where it's saying, given details about this buffer, because I was thinking buffer meant the text, but buffer may be an object that contains the text and contains the type and contains lots of information about it, which I think buffer would be a bad name for that, but that might be the convention, because there is such thing as a buffer object, as in the buffer that you are currently working on, etc., etc. Okay. So if, and I don't know if this means not or not. Because that doesn't make sense. If not executable returns 0. So if there's no executable, well, okay, this could make sense because it could be this is optional. If you don't find the executable, if the executable isn't executable, just ignore it. I could believe that. Return command environment. I think dot is a concatenator, just like in PHP. Escape executable. So command, some environment string that goes before it, concatenated with the executable. It's escaped in some way. So go PLS has a format option, pad options, whatever that means. Maybe we can find that somewhere else. And then I think it's just passing -L, -W, meaning right. %T, who knows what %T is? I don't know where you find the documentation of this stuff. Read temporary file 1. Now, that's interesting to me. Let's see if we can find this. All right. Execute to run, executable to run, to use as the go PLS fixer. I don't know what G and B means. I think that those are conventions. G maybe for global. I don't know. What's a good example? All right, there's some tests here. Oh, maybe pad means pad with spaces on either side. That's probably what that means. Okay, and I think it's saying ale set because it takes the string and it still puts prefixes on it. So this is somewhere between a C macro. It's kind of a Lua-esque language, if I'm not mistaken, because I think with Lua-esque languages you can do stuff like this. But it seems like everything must be a global, except for these things that have a let with a prefix. But again, I'd be very interested to see, what does A mean? What's A colon? Okay. All right, there's doc, there's test. I'm not really interested in that. I'm just interested. So I think I'm just interested in this registry bit. And then I'm interested in this auto load bit. But I'd also be really interested to know, how does it determine what the file type is? Because what I'd like to be able to do is say, well, if the file extension is .a.js, that's an AJScript file. AJScript. But I don't know how we do that. Regardless, let's go take a look at the prettier one and let's see if I can replicate this, because maybe it really is this simple. All right, so let's take a look at unload, arrow, fixers, and then prettier. Let's see if we can figure out why is this so complicated. It looks like I already have it open here. I'm just going to get rid of that one. It's too batty. Interesting. Executable, use global. Looks like that defaults to 0, which doesn't quite make sense to me. Unless 0 is considered true, like it is in C. Alright, no option. So that all makes sense. That's the same here, except this is executable options. This is executable options and use global. I don't quite understand where that get is from. Oh. Okay. So we have a get executable, which is something that it doesn't seem like we have to worry about here. So ale path find executable, buffer, JavaScript prettier. I don't understand what this a buffer means. Maybe I can find an answer. This might be one for ChatGPT, because it may be able to have looked through these things and understand what they mean. So let me get I'm phoning a friend. Hold on a second. I'm going to get ChatGPT on the line. Okay. Buffer command. No, this is wrong. So it's giving me information about Vim, not VimScript, which is not what I want. what does the a colon prefix mean in vim-script? Function arguments. Okay, that makes sense. Arg. Okay. What properties does the buffer object have in vim-script? Okay, name, number, length, modified, read-only, valid. Got it. That might be true, it might not be, but I think it gets me in the basic right direction. So now this one, yeah, this one doesn't have a find executable, but it just has this executable function. And I'm guessing the executable function, let me just get out of here real quick. Executable. Wait, do we... How do we define it? What is... Okay. What's the difference between function and function in vim-script? Okay. Forcefully. Okay. It's a good practice to just override them. Okay. Find executable. Okay, I think I get this. All right, so this is the actual function. It's defined somewhere. And it's going to find the executable, and it's going to be given a buffer. Now, why it needs the buffer, I'm not clear. And then it wants to look in these places to find it. Okay, whatever. All right, and this has a fix function. And I think that mine should be like this, because I think that we should be able to say, yeah, you can have a local version installed in your project, and you want to use that version as opposed to some other version. Kind of, sort of. No. Do we need that? Kind of, sort of, yes. I guess so. Yeah, you do. Okay, I'm convinced that that's not a bad thing. So fix is fix the same, though. So run with version check, buffer, get executable, version, function, apply fix for version. That doesn't make any sense. Do we have that here? We have executable options environment. Process prettier D output. So prettier D, I think, is some earlier form of prettier. If line, there's some sort of pattern matching here. I don't know what pound means. Maybe it just means match. And then I'm not sure what type of regular expression this is, but basically if there's any word error, it starts with word characters and then error, then return an empty buffer. I think that's what this is saying. Otherwise, return the output. So look at the first 10 lines. All right, so this is going to be standard error. Return nothing. Okay, and I wonder if this is like the empty tuple, or if that's a list. It looks like it's actually a list, and I'm guessing that somewhere else it says, if the list is empty, don't use it. Okay. Print get, wait, why is get current working directory, find nearest file? Okay, and that makes sense. Go up the tree, find the nearest file. That makes sense. Okay, I'm on board with that. Fallback to the file of the buffer. Does H mean anything? I'm gonna... What does the H suffix mean in vim-script? I could at this point probably no. No, I mean specifically vim-script, such as, what do we have here? %string H. Okay. Output path 2. Got it. So this gives you the directory. Okay. It's very confusing. Oh, does this parse the config file too? All right. Fname modify. Okay. Fixers apply fix for version. This is something I'm confused about. Get buff var split file types and file type, whatever. Handlebars parser equals glimmer. Oh, okay, yeah. So it looks like there, it would almost need to be, to have this be a little cleaner, that there's a different prettier for each thing. So there's a prettier for handlebars. There's a prettier for JavaScript. There's a prettier for HTML. That would make a lot of sense. And so it looks like it's trying to figure out, okay, based on which version of prettier is installed and what things it's able to handle. If you detect this file type, pass a prettier option to let it know that it's this internal parser to prettier. So it's kind of doing extra work. Yeah. Okay, but we do give it the standard in file path. All right, nice. I like that. I think it's a really good idea. I don't know what exactly we do that. What is prettier D? What is prettier D? Is that prettier daemon? Is there a daemon? Interesting. So is there a prettier client then for this? I'm a little confused. Because this is supposed to be just prettier. Let me see what line we're on here. There's the line numbers. So we're not that far down, and there's not that far to go. But I would like to know what is... So there's no prettier D defined there. All right, here it is. Special error handling needed for prettier D. Standard in file path, standard in, process with prettier D output. And that was where, yeah, I checked to see if there's an error, and it says, well, if there's an error, don't use the output. Got it. 1.4 version, alrighty. It seems like some of this just needs to get dropped. I don't know how old prettier 1.4 is, but that's kind of a long time ago. At this point, that's probably corrupt. Let's just do npm info prettier. Let's see if we can tell. Holy shoot, dog. 8.5 megabytes? Whoa, and Prettier 3 was just released. That's scary. Prettier 1.4.4. Do we have a date on this? Doesn't that give us a date? No, that's all we get. Published over a year ago. Seriously? All right. Let's get over to Prettier real quick because I'm interested to see. Dang, 8 megabytes is a ton. Yeah, it's doing too many things. I wonder, there was some project I was looking at, and it kind of explained the philosophy behind breaking some of these things down. It was something that had an encoder and a decoder, and it talked about how because of how I think it was something like ULID. It might have been a ULID parser or something that handled different formats of ULID or different formats of UUID. It's a few days ago I found it, but it explained this philosophy of, well, the input and the output are not equal. If you encode and decode a thing, you don't get the same results. It might have been a base 32 parser, because uppercase and lowercase are not equal, but they're equivalent for base 32. So if you ran an encoded decode and expected to get back the same bytes, you wouldn't. And it talked about how because of these types of problems that they broke down the parser pieces in a more, actually, you know what? I think it was the other project, not Noble, but the Noble crypto guy has another project that I think might be called something like STND or something like that. I think that's what the project was. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think it was Paul Miller. Let's see what other projects he has. Noble hashes. I'm pretty sure he had another project. Bruh. Nice. Secure. There it is. Secure base. This is actually the one that I was looking at. I think. Let me go ahead and give that a star. This dude, he's good. Ah, yes, this is indeed it. This is it. This is very, very, very much it. Okay. So he's talking about converting between different bases, and I don't know where I saw the little bit. But anyway, he had a way of breaking things down in a way that is much more logical according to the function of the desired inputs and outputs rather than categorically. And I think that it would be nice if Prettier could look at some of these things categorically and say, okay, these are similar, but these are not similar at all. These, well, I maybe they are. SCSS is maybe like, but less is not like SCSS or CSS. And then these, I don't know if they're similar. GraphQL is, I mean, it's completely its own thing. Markdown is completely its own thing. YAML is completely its own thing. So it would be nice if they broke that down. Anyway, I think that's what we're looking at here. Oh, I wanted to see what the release notes were for... do we have release notes? Changelog. V3. When did this happen, by the way? Was this like yesterday? 3 weeks ago. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, good. Okay, async is good. AJScript modules are bad. But it supports it, not requires it. Okay, good. Yeah, the whole idea that you're going to have... There's this catch-22, right? So, if we were relying on HTTP2, if we were in a world where HTTP2 had been successful, then ECMAScript modules might be worth the pain of using, because we could potentially get some significant benefits. The problem is that HTTP2 was abandoned. The part that was kept was that TLS and HTTP go together, and that compression and HTTP go together. That part was kept, and some of the updates to the way that headers are encoded. But all of the stuff that was supposed to make developers' lives easier was just thrown out the window. So the stuff that was supposed to be basically move the DevOps crap over to the web server, where the web server uses heuristics or machine learning or however it chooses to implement it, but the web server is making the decisions about how to efficiently serve files, which the web server, since it has all of that information, is well equipped to do. And it's not like it has to run this 24/7. It could take snapshots occasionally. It doesn't have to be a huge deal. But there was real potential, and that, as I understand it now, it's actually been deprecated. So it is slated for removal from HTTP, which since it was HTTP2, which since it was backwards compatible, that's okay. But anyway, if you're a plugin developer, please exercise caution. Oh, but what I was going to say is, but in reality, people just bundle all of their crap. And so it's not worth breaking the entire ecosystem to make everything forcefully async at runtime for something that at build time you're ensuring will be synchronous. So you're introducing this breaking syntax, and anyway, I won't go into it anymore. Okay. Markdown is different. API is different. Flow is being removed. Okay. Nice. There's a CSS parser now that's, I guess, not SCSS or whatever. Drop support for Node 10 and 12. That's great. Those were kind of the last buggy versions of Node. And, well, except for when it comes to web crypto support, in which case V18 is the last buggy version, as far as I'm aware. Okay, this is a little bit, outside of what my original goal was, but I wanted to understand, I don't know. I use Prettier, so I wanted to understand what's going on. All right, so I'm done with that. Now the next thing to do is basically we can copy this, but we can copy it without the cruft. We can kind of make an in-between for AJScript. So it's not going to be a simple... All right, let's just go from Prettier to AJScript bumped. Okay, first of all, let's replace capital P Prettier with capital AJScript bumped. AJScript formatted. We don't need this one. Where's F9 modify declared? Maybe this is something that's actually specific to Vim. So let's try this. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to be using this. What's fname modify? Okay. Okay, I get it. I get it. All right. So I don't have to worry about versions. Okay. What is %t? Tail? I don't think that's right. I could be wrong. So that just means the file name? Okay, file name. Okay, process with. Apply fix for version. Run with version check. I don't think we're going to want this. I don't know where the CWD comes in. Just going to update my notes here. Okay. Okay, so maybe this does end up being almost as simple as the Go one. So I think here we'll have AJScript fumpt AJScript fumpt.js. There we go, something like that. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to try to keep this updated here as I go a little bit. So run with version check. We don't need to worry about that. Let me see back to how it was done in Go. So this has the ability, it looks like, to write out a temporary file. So env string. All right, we don't have that. JavaScript, AJScript, prompt. Options. I don't know about this run with version check business. I do think it's fine to say, hey, if you don't find it, you don't find it. No biggie. Okay, that's what I thought. So that is a built-in. Okay, I think that one's what we need to model after. Okay, run with versions, although I don't think I could come back to this. I'm going to put that in my notes and take it out of here. Because that is useful, maybe, later. Okay. Alright, so we're not going to do that. We'll escape the executable. We don't need the thumped per se. I'll add it on there just for funsies. We can pad the options. Sure. And then %t. I don't know that that means anything here. %t of what? Oh, write a temporary file. Read temporary file equals 1. Got it. So we can say write a temporary file. %t maybe. Command, return command, %t. What is vim-ale's format for %t temporary files? Let's see if it knows that. Oh, interesting. Current file. Right. So I don't think that we actually want to have read temporary file. I don't think that we want to set this to true. Let's take a look at this other one, though. This other prettier, the original prettier file, because return command write read temporary file. Okay, so I think another option what is %s then? Okay. Change the topic to vim-script, not vim. Okay. I'm trying to understand. So I'm thinking this is the source file, maybe? Okay, that makes sense. I think we'd want to provide something like that. Standard M file path. Okay, and this one does have write. I would switch this up, though. I would say that -O should take the T, and -W should not. Okay. So I'm not sure what exactly should come next here. Let me get my chair rearranged. Hold on. Let me move the mat a little. I got this mat to put my feet on that I never put my feet on. You know? It's supposed to be both anti-static and, you know, help me rest my feet. But then I scooch up to it and the rollers of the chair hit there, and I don't know, I just never actually put my feet on it. There we go, that's better. Poor Matt. I do work with a guy who's Matt as well. Okay, read temporary file. I think that %T, I think GPT was making this up. I think that %T is specific to string interpolation for ale. So I think S is source and T is temp file. All right. So now I've got to do some case statement popping. Let me see. Did I do that with duck? Nope. Hold on. Not local. Then duckdns.sh. Okay. Did I put the pop in here? What was the other one? Was it Aliasman? Shift. There it is. Shift. So I don't actually have an example where I do... Let's try this one. So I think what I'll do is I'll have my main function. It's been a while since I've been writing Bash, so forgive me. And I'm going to have a while true do done. Where I have my arg equals shift 1. If 0 length my arg. Oh, this is different, actually. Ooh, how do we do this? No. This isn't the way to do it. Alright, there we go. So we're going to have my file name. We're going to have my standard in, my file name. And there's going to be my out file. Good. Well, There's guy Matt that I step on. It's getting about time for dinner time, so I'm going to have to take a break here shortly. Oh, it's so hot too. Okay. Not readable file, yo, that's fine. Oh. Alright, line 43. Command not found. Is it supposed to be like that then? Duh. While one is set. But how do you test for settedness versus... Because it's not is set, is it? Or is it? Is there actually an is set? No, because that would be non-empty string, which is different. So there's non-empty string, but an empty string is it being set. So you could have an empty string, and then you could have something else after the empty string. I'm not going to assume that one can't be an empty string. I guess in this particular case that could be true, but in general, I don't want that to be true. And also, people make mistakes, right? So it's possible for somebody to have an empty string as a file name and to call this function, although this is not actually going to be the function that gets called. This is just a dummy for testing. But they could have a mistake, and I'd want to give good feedback. So I'd want that could not find empty string. I wouldn't want... I wouldn't want it to just stop. So I'm going to stick with this one for now. There is a way to check for setness. It's probably test something else. Is it a question mark or something like that? That one. plus x. Ah. So it could work to say test dash z one plus unset. See about this. I don't think that worked out right. Let's see. So that plus might be a bash thing. Let's ask ChatGPT. How can I check if a variable is set in POSIX shell? No. No. How do I test if the variable is defined? No. Yeah. Mostly bad answers on the internet, therefore bad answers from ChatGPT. Ah, plus defined. Unofficial check. That's what I just did, isn't it? I say, okay. So we should see oh. Getting a little confused. All right, so this is where it's a little confusing. Because we get this one, and then shift should mean that this takes that position. So I'm a little I'm a little confused. My not set. Maybe it needs a colon? I don't know. I'm just going to stick with what I had that works. If there is a more idiomatic way to do this, I would love to do it that way. But I don't know how to search for it. It would be somewhere in the POSIX standard. If the parameter is unset or null, if the parameter is unset or null, if the parameter is unset or null, if the parameter is unset or null. Use alternate value. Okay, substitute but not assign. Maybe it's this. Set but null. Unset. Okay, I think this is it. I'll try the question mark. Yes. Just give me a few minutes. I wasn't keeping track of the time. Oh, that's another way to think about it. If, Alright, let's try this. And then I gotta go. Hey! Thanks for helping me think through that. Alright. So the point here is I just wanted to construct something to be able to do, now do a case on my arg, and then ESAC. Is it like this? I always forget. Ah! Let me go back to this one. Case blank in. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted. All right, sweet. So now I can have... So basically what I wanted to be able to do here was say if it is standard in file name, then my in file name is equal to... So then we would just repeat this. Oh, whoops, that wasn't right. Yeah, so I'm going to be able to do this and say standard in file name. Yo, whoops. No, it didn't work. Oh, it'd help if I spelled it correctly, though. And then we could, to protect ourselves from that in the future, we could say, oops. Unknown argument. So now, if I go back and do it the wrong way, F name is yo. Unknown argument, standard in file name. Okay, that's what I wanted. Cool. All right, so kind of off the beaten path because, well, not off the beaten path entirely, but I'm interested in continuing to increase my POSIX knowledge. But the goal here for today will be to be able to analyze an input file and have Vim run a thing on it. That we can tell that it ran a thing and that it has the right options. And so, two birds with one stone. Anyway, I got to go for dinner. Let's see. Let me see if there's any other comments or anything. Yep, thanks for that, for the catching the typo. Although I didn't see your comment fast enough to benefit from it right away. Wait, standard in file name equals foo question mark evil. So what this is going to be used for, the standard in file name, what it's going to be used for is detection to determine, can I handle this file appropriately? Because like if the standard in file name has the wrong file extension, it'd be like, hey, that's not what I do. That's not my thing. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to come back to it after dinner. All right. I got to go. Thanks for tuning in. Sure do appreciate ya. Let me see if there's anybody else I can drop us onto here. Let's see, do we have enough people on Twitch to raid? Yeah, we got some people on Twitch. Okay, well, we'll just raid somebody real quick. Let's see. /raid. And then, who do we... recommended channels. We got nobody? Oh, dang. I got nobody. I got nobody to raid. Sorry. So we're going to end it there. Catch you later. Adios. Oh, so apparently I wasn't signed into Twitch, and it needs me to give them a token and do all that.